Welcome to episode 41 of C3 Crystals, Cauldrons, and Cocktails. Wren is back this week. I'm so excited to have her back. I'm River.
Yes. Oh, and I'm Wren. Oh, wow. I'm gone for 3 weeks and I forgot.
And this week we're going to talk about winter magic since it is the season.
Yes.
But first, tell everybody what we're drinking because you are responsible for this one.
Yes. So my husband and I, we went on a really small, it was 4 days, but much needed trip. And I went to a winery. Where we went was absolutely amazing. There was just literal wine tasting shops throughout the whole town. And you could probably literally get drunk on just free little wine tastings. Which is not what I'm saying I did.
Right.
But they had this specialty cotton candy flavored wine. And if you know anything about me, I am a sucker for some sweet wine. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I love cotton candy. I think I've already talked about it on here. And that to me was just the perfect combination of everything that I love. So I bought 3 bottles. 3 bottles, not all for me. One was also for River. Duh.
Yeah.
But that is what we are drinking, and it's my favorite. It's absolutely my favorite wine,
and it is so good. I'm not a big super sweet fan, but it really does taste like cotton candy. And
it does.
Who doesn't love cotton candy?
I know.
And I'm drinking it in a glass. My husband and I, we went away for a weekend, and he bought me a wine glass that has a little jeweled turtle on it.
Aww.
And it's so cute. So I'm drinking out of that glass because we needed some time away too. So we got to go away for a long weekend. So that was nice.
Yeah, that is nice.
Okay. So for us here in the United States, it's wintertime. And at least, I was going to say, at least here in the South. Well, it is everywhere. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, it's wintertime here where we are. And we are just now at the midpoint of winter. And we just celebrated Imbolc before this comes out. That's actually, as I said last week, pronounced Imbolc in Gaelic. The B is silent. But we still have a long way to go as far as getting through this winter.
Yes.
And actually, General Lee, the little groundhog here in the South, did not see his shadow. So that means that spring is coming soon in the South, but Phil up in Pennsylvania did see his shadow. So up there in the North, they've got 6 more weeks of winter.
Okay, I am very skeptical on this because I don't get it. You're going to see your shadow if the sun is out, and if you don't, I just have never understood.
Yeah, there was actually a National Geographic article on the predictability and how it does or doesn't work for these little groundhogs. But the people that are in charge of General Lee down here in the South absolutely say he is 99% accurate. Yeah, I know.
So
we don't know either.
He didn't see his shadow, so therefore it wasn't a sunny day.
Correct. So I guess the thought is it's cold and nasty on the day that he's supposed to look for a shadow. And because it's cold and nasty on that day, it means that spring is coming sooner. Whereas if it's nice and sunny and they see their shadows, then somehow that means that you've got 6 more weeks of winter.
I have many opinions.
Well, anyway. Either way, we've got a long time still yet to get through winter. And winter magic is often centered around fire because it's cold. And so, lots of us use fires to keep our homes warm. And, even places that don't have fireplaces often use candles to help brighten up the days. It's kind of a cold, bleak, dark time.
Yeah.
The days are still short. Did you know, and I don't know why this just popped into my head, but Aristotle used to think that birds flew to the moon in the wintertime.
I did not know that. It's very interesting.
Interesting. I don't know what in the world prompted that logical step, The birds have gone away. They must be on the moon.
No idea. Oh, but talking about the moon.
Yeah.
Okay. As my scientific self, did you know that the moon actually used to have volcanoes?
No, I didn't know that.
It's very it was very volcanically active like 70 million years ago, and that's why it has a lot of the dark patches and stuff. I mean, of course, like a lot of the craters are from like asteroids and stuff that hit it, but a lot of the darker patches of the moon are from volcanic like eruptions and everything, and they're said to still be magma underneath, like in the core of it.
I had no idea. So cool.
I had no idea either until like maybe a couple weeks ago, but I was like, as an astronomer, like, you know, in my head, I'm an astronomer. So as an astronomer, I should know these things, but I was never taught these things. And I was like, okay, that has to be a lie. And I did all this research and extensive like research, and it's true. I never knew it. And I am disappointed that my professors never told me. But yeah, it would spew lava because, you know, the gravitational pull from Earth and the sun, it would spew lava really, really high and towards Earth. And it's just, I just think it's so cool. And the moon actually had an atmosphere because of all of this, like
the gases and stuff.
Yeah. So it actually had an atmosphere, and it could have held and been sustainable for like life, not life like us, but like microorganisms type thing. Isn't that cool?
That is so cool.
Off of the moon.
Yeah. Well, back to winter.
Yeah.
A lot of witches prepare for winter and use it as a time of self-reflection. You know, as we talked about the winter solstice as a time for being prepared for what's to come, this cold time. And, you know, a lot of times witches prepare for that, and they get their grimoires ready to be able to do some journaling and reflection, you know, but just watching nature, the animals know to get ready for winter too. So, you know, why shouldn't witches? Did you know actually that red squirrels make mushroom jerky to prepare for the winter?
No, I had no idea. Mushroom jerky?
Yeah. They dry out the mushrooms to eat on, make jerky out of it for the winter. Isn't that interesting? I thought that was interesting. But since fire is such a big part of the season, you know, it's a good time in winter to do like fire divination. That might be a great way to do some winter magic. That reminds me of Harry Potter. Remember in the movies about Harry Potter that they would that Harry was looking into the flames, and that he could see Sirius's face.
Yeah,
Sirius was talking to him through the flames.
Yeah.
So we can kind of do the same thing. You just kind of allow your eyes to become out of focus, and you watch the dancing flames. You think of a question or an area in your life that you need guidance on, and you see what you see. And, you know, often it's not really necessarily the flames that are showing you the pictures, but the way you're looking at it, you know, like when we look at clouds and people say, oh, look, it's a bunny rabbit. You know, it's the same thing with a flame. She's looking at me like I am gone insane.
Yeah, no. I know what you're talking about.
Not a great analogy, apparently. But you can also do it if you don't have a fireplace. You can do it with a candle. You know, the bigger the candle, the bigger the flame is that you can have that effect with. You obviously, as we always say, be safe with all open flames and carefully extinguish them.
Yes.
Might also be a great time to use candles in sex magic. We really do need to do an episode on sex magic at some point, but you can use the flames from the candles to drip wax onto your partner and that kind of thing. Well, there's a lot more to it than that, but that's just one. You know, wintertime would be a great time for sex magic because it's cold and you want to cuddle and you're already getting your energies together at that time. You know, if you don't have a fireplace and you don't want to use candles, you can also use a fire bowl or your cauldron. One of my dear friends gave me a little cauldron for Christmas, and that would be perfect for doing fire magic in. And once your fire burns and only embers remain, you can actually add herbs for your intention as well. You know, we've gone over several herbs and what their meanings are, and the smoke will rise up out into the universe to help manifest your intent. And then there, think about using winter flowers in your spells, like pansies are winter flowers. And there was a flower I mentioned last episode. I don't remember what it was. I had never heard of it before, but it's a winter flower. And there's a bunch of them out there. So use that in your winter spells. And then also, once your fire is down to embers, you can burn a petition or other intention. You write it on paper, and it can be fancy or it can be very simple. You can put it on a stick-it note if you want to, or you can actually use stationery and calligraphy and a special pen if you want to. And then you allow it to burn in your fire bowl, the candle, the cauldron, the fire pit, whatever it is that you're using. Mm-hmm. And I've got an example of one that I like to use, but you all may not like it. It may not speak to you, but I write something like, "Thank you for the winter sleep, for soul reflections within and deep. The time has come to wake and see. Prepare me now for what's to be. While looking forward to warmth and sun, I leave behind what has been done. Cleanse me now with inner peace and aid me in the past's release."
I like that.
Yeah. I like one of those. I'm one of those people that likes the rhyming thing. It doesn't have to rhyme. It doesn't have to be, it can just be a sentence. It could be whatever your intention is. Yeah. I just happen to be one of those people that likes the rhyming thing.
Yeah. I actually have one that involves like the burning of a piece of paper or whatever it is that you want to burn, It has to deal with anxiety. I have anxiety. We all know, I talk about it a lot. So it's a spell to overcome anxiety that's done best on a new moon or I have to do there's only a picture of the moon phase.
Speaking of new moon, Imbolc was on the new moon this year, February 1st and 2nd, that time frame. It was a new moon and midwinter. Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
Powerful, I think.
New phase. Yeah, phase. Yeah. This is on a waning crescent.
Okay. Okay.
You'll need a pen and a piece of yellow or white paper. So that could be a yellow sticky note like you were talking about. Or
good point. I didn't think about saying the color of the paper could mean something. Color, absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like if we just think it, green paper for green, to manifest money and stuff like that, or luck, So you'll also want a pinch of dried yarrow and a pinch of dried thyme and a candle. And it doesn't say or specify what candle, but you could also probably do like a yellow candle that would help, or a white candle, which is the universal candle. So this is like a quick spell just to, pass your worries. And I feel like a lot of people are more stressed in the winter.
I think so too. There is that depression syndrome from the winter.
Yeah, it's called seasonal depression type.
Yeah. Seasonal something depression. SOD something.
I just know of it as seasonal depression.
Okay. It's a real thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And so on your paper, you're going to write down your worries and sprinkle some yarrow and thyme in the middle and visualize these powerful herbs dissolving your anxieties. And then you'll fold the paper over 3 times and burn it over the candle in a direction where the sun sets. So from the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So you'll want to move it from probably the east to the west.
Okay. Over
the fire and burn it. And then place it somewhere fire safe.
Yes.
As it burns. Yes.
In your cauldron or whatever.
Yeah. Or sand. I think we've talked about that.
I don't know if we have or not.
I think we talked about, or maybe it was a Patreon episode.
Oh, maybe.
Where we did sage, but sand bowls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sand bowls are really good for putting out anything with fire.
That's good.
Yeah.
Another way to use fire magic in the wintertime is to use the wax. So a really great way to do this is to draw sigils or signs to help seal your spell. And wax dries super fast. So you're going to need to work quickly. I like to use a toothpick when I'm trying to draw with the wax. You can draw on the paper, on your arm, on your palm, wherever it is that helps work with whatever your intent is. But another way, and this way I hadn't thought of until I found this researching today, was you can draw the sign with dry wax, like use a candle, like a birthday candle, and draw the sigil with the candle, and or even a crayon. Crayon is also wax. And then you use the flame to melt the design, and it really looks cool when you melt it. You can see the design showing up in the liquid wax, which is really cool. So for instance, if you're trying to manifest happiness and cheer, which a lot of us need during the winter, you might draw a sun and then use the flame to melt it. And as always, you can use a mantra or a spell or anything that helps you reinforce your intent. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I think that's really cool. Like really, I mean, I don't know. I feel like you can like pick it apart, especially more like with the wax and like what you use, but just even something as simple as that. Like, I think that's like I didn't even think about doing that.
And just taking the time to focus on these things in the middle of winter is uplifting all by itself. Then I came across using snow in spells, since it's wintertime and there's a lot of snow out there.
I hadn't even thought about it.
Really? Well, here in Georgia, we don't get that much snow.
We don't get that much snow. I mean, yeah, no, we don't. So
like our patron Nika, she's probably inundated with snow right now, and she would like to get rid of some of the snow.
I would love to take some of the snow.
Me too. But snow can be a great tool, especially if it happens to be the very first snow of the season. You know, that often has special meaning. It's you know, before we all get burned out on having snow everywhere, like I'm sure Nika is right now, it's often magical in and of itself to see that first snowfall.
Yeah.
But you don't have to use the first snow. You can use moon snow, like snow that's been charged in the moonlight.
Oh.
Yeah. Did you know we actually, we may think of snow as being pristinely white, but technically it's completely colorless. But despite that fact, tiny particles of dust or algae can make snow appear in a variety of colors, like yellow. Well, we all know how yellow snow can be. That's an entirely different thing. Orange, green, and even purple, according to the Farmer's Almanac. And did you know pink snow has a name? It's called watermelon snow.
Watermelon snow.
Yeah. But I guess it just depends on where you live as to what atmospheric particles might get picked up in the snow to color it. But watermelon snow.
My mind is boggled. I'm speechless. Watermelon snow. I was going to try to make a joke about yellow snow, but you threw me off with watermelon snow.
Yeah, stay away from that yellow snow. I don't know. Snow can be used in place of water in any spell. You can make the melting of the snow a ritual prior to its use to imbue the snow as it's melting with your intent. Or you can use snow in its original form and allow it to melt as you cast the spell or as the spell works. On the opposite side, you can take moon water and put it outside to freeze under the phase of the moon that you want. So like I do have moon water that I've got stored, and if it gets below freezing, I could put some of that moon water outside to freeze and then use it in a spell. Freezing is a really great way to use. It's good to use it in binding spells where you're trying to bind things.
Oh, before we move on with the moon, we're talking about the moon. This month's moon, we're going into February type, like from January to February. This month's moon is actually named Snow Moon.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's very on par with snow in our discussion today. And it's only called Snow Moon because February is usually when most of the snowfall occurs.
Okay.
And it's as simple as that. Or it's also called Storm Moon Storm Moon, because that's when most of like the winter storms come through.
Have you ever seen a thunder snow?
No.
Yeah, we don't get that much down here. But it's a thing, like a thunderstorm with rain, but a thunderstorm with snow.
I
And
would love to experience.
I know, me too. And
I love a good thunderstorm.
Me too. It's called thunder snow.
I would love to experience that. Now I know what I'm missing in life.
Wow. If that's all you're missing, then you're doing really well.
And I'm great.
I read on one website that this witch, she uses snowballs to help release anger during the wintertime. So she says she gathers snow into a ball and puts it in her freezer. And then as time goes on, she allows it to absorb her anger. Anytime that she's angry or frustrated or having any kind of negative emotions, she visualizes all of that negativity going into that snowball. And she says, eventually you can just feel that it's full. It's full. And at that point, you take it outside and you concentrate on releasing all that negative energy, and you throw it at something hard, like a boulder or something. You could throw it, I guess, at a tree, and you watch it explode. And that helps release all of that anger and negative energy out into the universe to get yourself free of it.
See, that's what I initially thought when it said, like, get out your anger. You just make snowballs and throw it at things.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a thing. I think that's a thing.
But the idea of like letting it absorb your anger. Have you heard, this is off topic a little bit, but where you grab an apple and you like visualize all of your anger, like channeling through your arm towards that apple. And then you put it in like something like on a plate or something, and you leave it. And like within like 24 hours or something, it's like basically like black because of all that anger that you've channeled into that apple. Yeah, it was really cool. I saw that like a long time ago. It's been a while since I've seen that, but that's what made that like me think of that.
That is so cool. Yeah. Using snow, I could see, when you put in the refrigerator, what is it? The baking soda or baking soda that you put in the refrigerator to soak up all the bad smells that you might have in there. At least that's what my mom used to do. I don't know.
I heard that you could do onions because onions absorb toxins. Like you're not supposed to, if you cut an onion and you put the other half in the fridge, you're not supposed to eat the other half that's been in the fridge because it absorbs all the toxins and like smells in the fridge. Yeah.
And I feel like that's what her plan is with the snowball, that it absorbs all of that, just like that. Did you know that according to the Library of Congress, at least a septillion snowflakes fall each winter? That's a septillion. That is a trillion snowflakes.
Jeez.
And the largest snowflake on record measured 15 inches wide and 8 inches thick. That would like land on your head and kill you. I can't, I can't. Here comes the snowflake. I don't know.
I know. Yeah.
It didn't say where that was. I don't know. But not all places have snow. Like here in Georgia, we don't get much, but some places get lots of snow that makes it easy to use in spells. Oh, and another thing I came across doing this winter research, there is an annual international hair freezing contest in Canada every February.
Every February?
Yes.
No, because it's funny because when my husband and I were out of town, that is when it snowed in the South here. We were in a different state, but still South. And I had taken a shower, and then my husband and I decided that we wanted to go for a walk in the snow because we don't usually get to see snow. And my hair became crunchy because it was still wet.
See, you could have entered that contest.
I could have.
I'll have to see if I can find some pictures of this contest and see who some of the winning ones are. I'll post that on our Patreon.
It's like it's like that thing where if you boil water in like a pot and then you throw it into the air in the winter, it'll freeze, or like it'll like not evaporate, but like dissipate in the air, like turn into like water vapor. Yeah. I thought that's cool.
I'm going to make a note to post pictures of the frozen hair for our patrons.
I think they'll love that.
I can't wait to see what I can find. So moving on from snow, although there's lots more that you can do, use your imagination. Cooking spells. winter is a great
Oh,
time to do cooking spells. For me,
Mhm.
winter is a time of comfort food.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what better way to cast spells in the winter than with your food? At some point, I
Mhm.
think we really do need to do a full-on kitchen witch episode,
Yeah.
because there's so much on the different types of witches, and we've touched on some of them, but not the deep dive into them. And I think we really ought to do a deep dive on kitchen witch.
Mhm.
But there's so many ways to use cooking in your magic, or magic in your cooking. I think I said that backwards.
Wait. Cooking in your
Cooking.
magic. Same thing. Tomato,
Whatever.
tomato. Pish posh.
I love cotton candy. This is really tasty. Okay. So some simple ways to implement comfort is to, like, pot pie is a really comfort dish to me. And you can draw sigils in the pie crust before you bake it.
Oh, that's
Isn't
such a
that
good idea.
A great idea. You can
Yeah.
bake cookies. I love cookies, sugar cookies. You can bake cookies in pagan shapes like stars, deer,
Oh,
trees. Give thanks to nature as you mix up the cookie dough and envision the smells wafting out into the universe, sending your intent out. Think of how wonderful cookies smell when they're cooking.
I know.
And then with, like, COVID so prevalent right now, make a batch of chicken soup and imbue your intent into the ingredients as you add them. Chant over the soup as it cooks, adding your intent for comfort and health. Why are you laughing?
I could just imagine me over my soup in the kitchen, like saying some things. My husband walks in, he's like, "What are you doing to the soup?"
Turning around and walking right back
Yeah.
out. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
And then teas. Wintertime is a wonderful time for tea. And tea's always magical any time of the year for me.
Mhm.
But you can add herbs and flavors to make your winter day charged with energy. Start off the day with the caffeine and whatnot from your tea.
Yeah.
Did you know that people that are born during winter months tend to be less irritable than those of us not born in the winter? I wonder if that's true. I'm trying to think of people I know. My dad was born in February, and he's not irritable. And my sister was born in January, and she's not irritable. And I was born in September, and I'm pretty fiery. And you can be irritable at times.
Yeah, but I'm a fall child.
Me too. Yeah.
And I mean, my husband was born in the winter. And
does he get irritable?
Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
Moving on.
Okay. So in the winter, you can consider working with winter gods or goddesses. I don't work with gods or goddesses. That's not my path, but it is for a lot of people. So why not work with some and pay tribute to the winter ones in the winter? So Demeter, she is Persephone's mother, and she has been linked to the changing of the seasons. And she's often connected with the image of the dark mother in winter, because when Persephone, her daughter, was abducted by Hades and taken down to hell and had to live there, she lives half the time in hell and half the time in our world. Demeter's grief caused the earth to die for 6 months until her daughter's return. And that's why we have winter. That's a Greek or Roman Greek, I think, goddess. And then you've got Dionysus, who's another either Roman. I think Bacchus is the Roman side of Dionysus, who is Greek, and he's the god of wine. And in the middle of the winter, don't we all need a little wine?
We need a lot of wine.
Cotton candy wine.
Cotton candy wine specifically.
But it may not be a bad idea to work with him in the heart of winter to bring joy to these dark, bleak days. Scotty, not Scotty like beam me up, Scotty, like Scotty, Skadi, is a Norse goddess of winter hunting and skiing. She's known as the snowshoe goddess, and she rules over mountains, wilderness, winter, revenge, knowledge, damage, justice, and independence. So she might be one that you would want to connect with and work with in the winter. And then you've got Hulda, also pronounced Hulda, and she is a Germanic weather goddess.
So it's
said that when she shakes her feather bed, it snows on Earth. and
Oh.
rain falls from her laundry rinse water, and fog hovering over a mountain might be smoke from her fire. And she guards and nurtures all growing things in the forest, which I found a connection to that.
Yeah.
I think I might connect to her.
I just want to say she needs to shake her feather bed over
Georgia.
Yeah. Like a lot more often than she does in the north.
And then there's a couple other ones that I don't have details on, but there is one in Scotland, and you know how horribly I pronounce Scottish words, but Cailleach Bure, the goddess of winter and death in Scotland, and she is the patron of deer. And some myths tell of her herding deer and milking them, as well as protecting them from the dangers of hunters. All animals, all animals are special to her, but sacred to her are wolves, wild pigs, boars, goats, and cattle.
Okay.
It's also said that she can transform into a number of birds, such as the heron, the eagle, and the raven, which I found interesting.
That is cool.
But there are tons of gods and goddesses out there. If that is your path, then do some research and find out which ones are connected to winter, and try to work with them.
Yeah.
In the winter. And then winter being what it is, it's a great time to focus on healing as well. And I heard about this woman who used a jar spell for healing. And this is what she said. She said, I created a jar spell on the 1-year anniversary of my mom's death in January, intending to bring myself and others that loved her some peace and healing for the upcoming year. Jar spells are a type of folk magic where the spellcaster fills a vessel with things symbolizing the subject of their magic. I know it was successful because I could feel this sense of calmness after I completed it. It isn't a miracle by any means, but it helps. Sometimes I hold the spell jar in my hands while looking at her picture and I feel strength. And that girl, her name, that witch is Kelly, who did that.
I like that. I like that a lot.
What else do you have on winter stuff? Because I've been talking a lot.
Well, I didn't really, I have some like spells, quote unquote, but I think that a lot of it can be used and especially channeled in the winter.
Okay.
I only have like one or two more. This is under like, like renewal. This one's a bath, and I think that baths are really nice in the winter.
And our listeners, I did a Patreon episode for our patron on ritual. I keep saying ritual. Yeah, I think that's a thing, honestly. Ritual baths. So if you want to support us, you'll have access to that. But what spell did you find?
So this one is like more of like it's a cleanse away, like it's called Break and Cut bath.
Okay.
And it's basically a renewal bath where you'll cleanse away bad memories and relationships and hexes. This is
a great time of year to do that. You're right. Perfect.
Yeah. It's like the beginning of into beginning of a new year, and, new beginnings and everything. So for this one, you'll want to be on like either a new moon, or let me do it again. Wax, that thing where like when you're waxing a car and you like wax on and wax off.
Yeah.
That's how I know if it's a waxing moon or a waning moon. And this is a waning crescent.
Kid. Wax on, wax off.
Yeah. So this one's for a waning crescent.
Okay.
And you'll need 9 pinches of dry sage, 9 black peppercorns, 1 cup or 300 grams of salt. And it says that Himalayan salt is the best, but I think you can use any salt that you desire. Also Epsom salts, since it is a bath.
Oh, good idea. Yeah.
And then you're going to want to peel and juice 1 lemon or 2 if you're feeling spicy. And then you're going to want a bowl for blending in some clear quartz crystals. So you'll mix the sage, lemon peel, and peppercorns into a bowl counterclockwise, and then run a hot bath and add all of the blended ingredients and lemon juice into the bath. And know that when you step out of the bath, you will feel fully cleansed and like it's like a reset button has been pushed.
I
basically.
love that.
Yeah. And then for extra power, before you get in the bath, write down what you're breaking away, like what you want to get rid of. And then you'll fold the paper 3 times in a direction away from you to get that energy away from you, and then burn it with a black candle before your bath.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I love like that. I'm going to try that one.
I like the black candle part. That's my favorite part.
I've been really wanting to do some ritual baths because right now my skin is really dry because it's cold, and then the heat's on inside and dries out my skin. And that sounds lovely.
And then another one, let me find it. Let me find it. It was like a banishing spell that I thought was really cool. Okay, I have two more.
Okay.
So this one is a quick banishing spell, which I thought was really interesting. And again, like a time to, get rid of those bad energies and everything. Mm-hmm. So you'll need a pen and paper and 1 black candle. I really like the black candles. So this banishing spell can also be done before manifesting. And then you remember every time you banish something, you are creating some room to invite something positive in, which I really like that. So write the person or situation or whatever no longer serves you onto the piece of paper, and you're going to burn it over the black candle. And if you don't have access to a black candle, any colored candle will be fine, but black is just dramatic in my mind. I love it. And if you need to do a super quick one and you don't have access to a candle, write it down and rip it up and flush it down the toilet.
Flush it down the toilet.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that goes into like flushing things down the toilet, and I don't know why, but I'm here for it.
I mean, it's very symbolic of getting rid of it, flushing it away.
And then the last one I have is like a house blessing incense blends, that you can like put together to add stuff to your home. So this one is for an abundance of love, and you'll need 2 big pinches, not small, big pinches of dried rose petals, a pinch of sandalwood, and 9 drops of patchouli essence oil. And then you make it into a house blend of essence, whatever, however you want to, spread it around your house. Mm-hmm. And then another one, if you need prosperity or protection, you'll need 1 big pinch of lavender, 1 small pinch of rosemary, a pinch of dried basil, and 9 drops of cedarwood essential oil. I really like those for the winter time, especially because we all need an abundance of love and like acceptance in our homes. And that's something beautiful to put into our homes in this time, as well as protection and prosperity, especially if you're banishing something that you don't want. You still need that protection on top of everything that you're doing. So yeah. Yeah.
One of those spells, I think it was the second one you read, reminded me there is a Thai tradition of every time you cross a bridge over a running river, you do something similar to that. You make a motion of down your body, and there's actually a Thai chant that you say, but it's something along the lines of, rid me of the things I want to get rid of that don't serve me anymore, and welcome in the positive things, because the river is running under your feet as you're crossing it. And so it's taking away the bad stuff, but the good stuff's coming. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting.
When you said that, I thought of you standing over a river and a river on a river.
A river on a river. So, river likes rivers.
I like rivers. So
I like nature.
You like what?
Nature.
Oh, nature. You froze for a second.
Oh, did I?
All I heard was, I like moon.
I like,
yeah.
I like cotton candy wine.
Yeah, cotton candy wine.
Well, anyway, that's all I've got.
Yeah, that's all that I have. And it wasn't much, but it was what I could do to hop on and at least be in an episode. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad to have you back.
Yeah, I love being here. It's just I don't have time this time of year.
Well, thank you for joining us.
I love it. I hope to be back sooner than later,
Okay.
but we'll see how it is.
Okay.
But yeah.
Do you remember the outro? Because I don't have it in front of me.
Let me try. So
Okay.
you can find us on all social media platforms. That's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
You can also find us at our website, which is www.c3witchypodcast.com. There you can find links to all of our social medias, as well as our Patreon and our merch and our newsletter, which may be late this month. But yeah, check us out. And am I missing anything?
I don't think so. Come support us if we need your help. We thank our patrons that do support us. Every penny helps the time and effort that we can put into this to keep it going. We can't do it without you guys. And so if you do go to our website, there's a button you can click on. It takes you right there to our Patreon and you can support us. Thank you very much.
I think I changed the color on our website again too.
Oh, did you?
I changed it for the
winter?
season.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a blue, and I think I've been in a green phase recently.
Okay.
So it's green, I think.
Okay.
For the winter.
Very nice. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Oh, you could also leave a review. That would help us. Tell your friends about us, that we got to get out there. That's, and so anything you can do to help us spread it, retweet our tweets, that kind of thing. If our posts.
Can get out there, I could come back full time.
Yeah, definitely.
So not too
bad. Well, we will be back.
We'll be back.